Yeah.
So there are conditions for the allowable titles. Circle the correct ones. One is not a strong knot. Two, you have to plant untied in less than 24 hours. Now, I
Before
wrote
Shabbos.
plan, I realize that a lot of things have to be added in there. Doesn't mean you have to have a plan to untie. It means if well, it could be that you plan, or usually that's what you do. Usually you untie within 24 hours. It's the same idea. It's the norm that you will untie for within 24 hours. It's common that you will untie within 24 hours. It's all the same things. So say plan, don't mean specifically you have a plan, you're gonna untie, you plan something else. That's what you usually do. It's common that you will untie within 24 hours. 3, all the above answers are correct. Which one is it?
3.
3 is correct. Okay. Is it 6? Is it mutter to tie a double knot with conditions? A double knot? Everyone knows what a double knot is, right? Okay, is there a way you could tie a double knot with conditions? What are the conditions? 1, tie it loose. You plan to tie it in less than 24 hours. Typos there on my. 3, you need both of the above conditions.
Well,
Yeah, is everyone on board here?
Yeah.
You need both conditions, yeah. What's an example of the Loch Taifer? An example,
stapling
stapling, gluing,
Gluing.
on Velcro diapers.
Velcro,
He said not Velcro diapers.
not Velcro
Yeah.
diapers, okay, right.
Stitching.
Regular diapers,
Safety pin.
safety pins is not, safety pins is not an issue.
If you like wove it,
Yeah,
then it
do it
is,
more than once.
otherwise,
It's
yeah,
fine.
like you should just put it through once, but if you like,
You don't know the safety pins?
yeah. Makes sense.
So here's the thing, good point, if you put it more than once, you're going in and out, then it's best to be strict.
Okay.
If it's once for sure, it's okay. If it's a few times, the Rebbe actually speaks about it in a letter somewhere. The Rebbe says if you're going in and out, then there might be reason to be strict. Essentially, the Rebbe holds, and there's also the other opinions that say that the safety pins is not considered sewing. So really, it's not really, even if you go in and out, it's not really an issue. The Rebbe says if sewn, maybe you could say in such a case, there's room to be strict. It's not a real issue. Someone said diapers, but not that diapers is an issue. Diapers is questionable. Diapers is not for sure sewing because it's not meant. When we say
Oh, it's a
diapers, we don't mean
staples.
closing the diaper, we mean
Open.
opening it. Because when they close it in the company, the factory, it's not meant to stay this way. It's not meant to stay this way, so it's not really considered sewing. It's meant to stay temporary. But not those that are careful, then those that are strict, that they will not, that they will open the diapers before Shabbos. You know what it means to open before Shabbos? Open and close. They'll open it and close it before Shabbos. That's how I grew up. I always did it that way for many years. So graduated from doing it. So open it before Shabbos, take a whole pack of diapers, open and close, open and close. So it's not obligatory, but how I grew up. That's why I always did it. It's like this, if you open it, now you can say, if you're closing it back, what's the point? Because the point is, if you open it on Shabbos, that means it was being closed for a very long time. It was being closed for more than 24 hours. So now, when you're opening it and closing it, it's going to be closed for less than 24 hours. That's the idea behind opening and closing.
And the Velcro, we can open.
The Velcro is not an issue at all. Because the
Okay.
Velcro is meant, Velcro is different. Velcro is not a problem at all. That you don't have to open and close, because it's actually made to open and close. So it's not an issue. Okay, question 8. Wrapping a bee with a cup is definitely, we actually never discussed this in class, we never got to it. one of my original stencils that I made. We could discuss it now, trapping the bee. So if there's a bee and you're afraid of the bee and you want to trap it, you want to put a cup over it to trap the bee. The answer is no, you're not allowed. Or it might sting you, might hurt you. Luckily, still not allowed. There is a discussion about it, and there are some opinions who feel perhaps it should be lenient, or more than perhaps they say they should. It could be lenient. Down to Rebbe, to the best of my knowledge, it seems that the Rebbe is strict about it. That you shouldn't. That's what it seems. But just you should be aware there is a discussion, and there are opinions that say that you could be lenient if you're concerned that it might, sting you. So, but down to them, it seems that you shouldn't. You should not trap it.
What if someone like,
If someone has an allergic reaction, so if it's concern of allergic reaction, then it's okay. Then it's not an issue, then you could trap it. See, it's not a
You mean
regular
a
way.
bee as any insect, like a fly or?
Correct, well, fly, why do you wanna trap a fly? It's not gonna bite you, it's not gonna sting you.
No, not sting, but there are some that make
It's
noise.
annoying.
They make
There
noise.
are some that bite though, there are some that bite pretty bad.
Biting flies,
Horse flies,
Yeah.
biting flies,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, if there's a concern of biting,
I got the name. I got the neck of a fly in my leg many years ago. It was growing like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
so if
Yeah,
it's
not a
like, so
bite.
put it this way, if it's just annoying you, you
Yeah,
can't.
annoying.
If it's concerned that it's going to bite you, like if it's like a bee, the sting of a bee is very painful. So that's why there is a leniency, there are opinions that say you could trap it, put a cup over it. But like you said, Alter doesn't agree to it. Unless you have an allergic reaction, then it's brought down, it's dangerous. So I don't know what category you fly, you don't want a fly that's gonna bite you, like it's similar to a bee. Or just like a mosquito bite. Mosquito bite is not anything serious, it's not enough. Yeah, you follow what I'm saying?
Well, it can be, but it's okay. And
Okay,
if
but-
it bothers
yeah,
you, I mean, the
it
sound,
bothers you,
there is a fly that is.
It's annoying you, but no, but you should not do it. You shouldn't even do this. Yes,
you're still allowed to like put it in a cup though, you just can't close it. Like if you get into the cup at the bottom and you like go really fast outside, you're allowed to like dive it outside, right?
the question is, could you take the cup and with the fly and just like shoo it outside?
Yeah.
Right, so that's not trapping.
Right.
That's just getting it out. So if you're doing it with a cup, you're not touching it, because it's also looks and it's bothering you.
The bug itself is.
About, animals and looks at, my bugs and looks against. So if you're doing it with a cup. The issue not so simple. If the cup is knocking, if the cup is directly hitting the fly, then it's like you're touching the fly anyways. Like, are you allowed to move muktzah with this? This is muktzah, right? Can I go on Christmas Shabbos? No. So I can't use this to touch, to move the fly. But usually what happens is you're not even touching it. You go like that, you get it to move. You're not actually, you know what I'm saying?
Not really.
No.
I don't know how
You
you
go like this,
Sure,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
You wanna get a
but I was
fly,
told the
you
cup
go
is
like that, you're not actually hitting it.
I mean, with the cup, you're probably not
It's not
gonna.
gonna bump it, it's just laying.
But there's a good chance you won't. Is there a good chance you won't? Or there's a possibility that
I
you
mean,
might?
honest, I've, in the past, like,
Yeah.
you wait until it crawls into the cup. And then to the bottom, and then from there,
Okay, for sure. Once it crawls inside, you wanna take it in. It's inside, going there, then there's no problem. 'Cause you're not, it's already inside. It's different. You're not touching the fly. When you move the table with looks on top of it, it's in a different category. And going into all the details now, but this could be, the table could become muktzah, but in this case. The cup is not muktzah, even though there's a fly inside, the cup is not muktzah, even though ideally we prefer not to move it. But you're still moving muktzah not in a regular way. But in this case, there's a reason for it, it's to protect for your sake. So in this specific situation, even though the fly is muktzah, it's inside the cup, and you're moving the cup with the muktzah, it's okay. But all the deals with muktzah is a topic for itself. Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
You get the difference between pushing the fly with the cup or the fly is already inside.
Right.
That's the best. Then you pick it up with it and you do it inside. Okay, done. It's always usher to pull out a splinter on Shabbos. It's always prohibited to pull out a splinter on Shabbos because it might bleed. Like if you take out a splinter on Shabbos, you might cause bleeding when you pull out the splinter, right? So you're never allowed to take out a splinter on Shabbos. If that's true or false?
False.
Yeah, everyone agrees? False? Yeah?
Yeah.
Very good. False is correct. How come?
What malacha was that? Is it just about making yourself breathe? Like I remember talking about it,
Sure.
but I couldn't find it in my name.
Oh. Check there, you would check the animal.
There's such a way to do that. On to that or just in
Yes,
general?
The point is, why is it false? How can you allow it to take that as splinter?
You could do it in a way that you won't
Because
bleed.
you could do it, you're trying to do it in a way that the probability is very high that it's not going to bleed. You're talking about if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, and the chances are it's going to bleed, and you can't. Okay? It depends who's doing it. If you know what you're doing, and there's a very good chance that it's not gonna bleed, to be careful. You pretty much know, you might not be a nurse or a doctor, but you know what you're doing, and there's a very good chance that it's not going to bleed. Then you're allowed to do it. What if it ends up bleeding? That means you transgress Shabbos? No, you didn't. But you caused it to bleed. That's the point, because it was not intentional. You didn't want it to bleed. And it's not a definite act that it's going to bleed. Combination of those two factors cause it to become permitted. And this works across the board with Shabbos and all the laws of Shabbos. You have to know how to apply it correctly to actually be in those categories. Get it? It's not your intention, and it's not a definite thing that's going to bleed. That's why you're allowed to do it. Yeah. Exit number 2 is 1 and 2. Ten, putting salt on raw vegetables is permitted if you pour oil on it afterwards. True. Yeah. True. You're on the page. Yes. Volume 11. Putting salt on cooked meat and eggs is always prohibited. Not always prohibited. Usually permitted.
Yeah.
When is it prohibited?
It's gonna be an extended time.
Very good, an extended amount of time, like from morning to afternoon. An extended amount of time, then you shouldn't do it. And even then, Dr. Evans says, but if there's a reason why you're doing it, because it's gonna absorb the salt, it's gonna taste better, then you're allowed to do it. Then you're allowed, which is interesting. You think the opposite, but the whole thing is rabbinic. You understand the whole concept of putting salt in food is a rabbinic prohibition. It comes from canning the hides. Rabbinically applies to foods also because salt has the ability to change the texture. But that's only by raw foods. By cooked foods, cooked meat and eggs, it doesn't really change the texture. So there's a stringency not to do it to extended amount of time. It was strict. But they felt not really such a big issue. The person wants to do it because the food is going to taste better. The Shabbos, to come let it go. It's all rabbinic. So if it's rabbinically prohibited, the sages they decide how much they have to put the foot down on those. There's limits. What they feel, what makes sense.
Is there any reason someone would do it other than to make the food taste better?
No. It don't matter if it's for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
What? Because it's easier now. You're doing it now for the afternoon. You're doing it now because I have time to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what could be the issue of using cream or lotion?
Scraping and smoothing.
Smoothing. Discuss smoothing. The law of smoothing. You can't smooth It comes from the alma mater of the Mishnah was scraping. In the Mishnah, they would scrape the hides to get the excess hair off the skin. And from that, we get the melacha of smoothing anything else. You can't smooth. You remember we spoke about smearing butter on your bread? We discussed about that.
Also more like soap, right?
Soap, right, soap is also smoothing.
Wait. You can do that, right?
You can smear your bread, you smooth it out, you love to do it?
Yeah, for the purpose of
Yes.
eating. That's how you eat.
Right, but we mentioned something about it, anyone remember? You mentioned something. Connection to that.
With the bread of Lord, the butter.
No. We're explaining why it's okay?
Yeah, oh, I thought you said.
No, I'm not asking what, I'm asking what, we explained, we brought out another detail in regards to smearing bread on butter, smearing butter on bread. So there's an opinion that says that if you're not just smearing it, but you are intentionally trying to make it really, really nice, like really nice and smooth. Not just smearing, and then it's like, some kids like to do it, they spend a lot of time, like, really, if you just look nice. If you want to enjoy, looking at the bread rather than chewing it, it's gonna look very nice. To make the intention that not just smoothing it out, make it nice and smooth. So then, if it's brought down, that it's preferable not to. So it's still not prohibited because it's food, but then because you're trying to make it really nice and smooth, then it's preferable not to do it.
Meaning it's allowed, but not.
It's allowed, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing to refrain.
Okay,
It's more proper to not to. But it, it's a stringency basically. You're allowed to, because it's food, but it's best not to. Yeah, it's only if you like, not just smearing it, like you really make it nice and even. When is it prohibited to wipe the fog from the windows? The window is all fogged up.
You got something?
Right.
Or if it's like you go outside in the winter, like the snow or rain, and it's all fogged up, people go to the right thing in the window.
Or put a smiley face.
Yeah, so you shouldn't do that. It should not be done in Shabbos.
Isn't it not permanent though?
Correct, and that's why it's not a biblical prohibition, it's only a rabbinic prohibition, but it's still prohibited. 14, if there's a fire that's definitely not Sikanas Nefashis, meaning it's not life and death. Okay? Fire, no life and death. One is allowed to pour colored water or apple juice around the fire.
True.
What about water?
No, when you're
It's
washing.
okay, but it's better to color it. Because it could be
Water, so it depends, if you're pouring it.
clean.
If it's a tablecloth, and you're pouring it around the fire, it's going on the tablecloth or the material. So then then you should have, then you should not do it. So. If there's no tablecloth, or just like this table right here, it catches fire. Let's say it's not here, there's no, it's plastic. Doesn't matter, I can pour water also. But if it's a tablecloth underneath it, and it catches fire, if I'm gonna pour around it, I'm gonna be saturating the tablecloth, white tablecloth, then I should not be pouring water. Because I'm washing the tablecloth, I should be pouring apple juice, orange juice, grape juice. Now, the water preference would be, first preference would be, this is if it's possible, like if it's getting out of hand, it's what you have to do. But order of preference is something that's like apple juice, orange juice, things like that. If you don't have that, then you want to use, let's say, grape juice or wine.
Not like that with tablecloth though?
Correct, so that's why we prefer to use apple juice or orange juice.
But then water, so washing the tablecloth is worse
That's worse.
than.
Right. Using water is worse than grape juice. Because grape juice, according to many opinions, is not really considered dyeing because you're polluting the material. You're just messing up, you're not really improving. Whereas water, there are opinions that say it's a biblical prohibition pouring water on material. That's why the water preferences are with apple juice, like liquids that are not not white, don't clean, but not, don't die. And then we'll go grape juice, wine, and then afterwards we'll be water. Okay, this is all, in most situations, this is theoretical, because when something happens, people lose themselves. I know personally, no else, and how it is, like, these things have happened, and some people on the table, they go berserk. And I'm like, okay, let's pour water around it. Then what? Like, what are you saying? This is, you can't do it. You have to just pour out. Take it easy. The fire is right here, I know what's happening. There's no gasoline. Nothing's gonna explode. It's on fire. So you pour water around it. The fire can't go anywhere. So many times on the practical level, people lose themselves. And even if they know that it's gonna pour liquid out, they're gonna grab whatever they have. And you should, we're not saying, don't, what I'm telling you now, you have to understand that if it's, you don't start. Just grab what you have. If you have, if you have available quickly, your choice between art, there's some soda or, or water, so grab the soda. Seltzer is almost like water, not seltzer. Something that has a color to it. Soda that has, or if you have oranges, that's preferred. But if it's spreading, all you have is water. Then use water.
If
Yeah.
you don't have a liquid at hand, can you suffocate the flame with something else? Like,
Right, crafting,
No, that's trapping. Then you're actually putting out the fire. The whole idea, the
yeah,
whole idea is that you want, the whole idea is trapping is only by animals.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you're putting something on the fire, you're extinguishing the fire. It's the same like putting water. The whole idea is you want to avoid transgressing, extinguishing the fire.
so
So the idea is you're putting water around it, you're not extinguishing the fire. Well, you're gonna say what you are, because it's gonna water. Eventually, doesn't matter, you're not doing it directly. When you're pouring water around it, what you're doing is that eventually the water won't be able to spread. It's actually not even putting it out indirectly. You're just not allowing the fire to continue.
like, this is assuming that the fire happens at a meal where you have beverages out. Let's say a child throws a
Right.
book under the Shabbos candles, which I've seen before. What's the best way to deal with that? You don't have
You know what?
like a child has a temper tantrum, throw the book at the Shabbos candles and it
Yeah.
catches fire.
Okay,
What's the best way to deal with that? You don't have any liquids at hand. Run to the kitchen, leave the child unattended with the fire?
exactly, that's what I'm saying. You have to practice if you're not a client. Like the child, no, don't leave the child there.
No, that's
Why can't you grab the child with you?
good question.
Everything is depending, it's so specific, like, depending on the age of the child, first of all, theoretically, again, it's also theoretical. If you can grab the child, take a child, go to the sink, put him down next to the sink, grab water, and then pour water around it, the child is there. It depends on the age of the child, if you could grab the child just like that, I mean, you grab it, if the child is strapped in a hydrant right next to fire, obviously. There's any concern of danger to life or getting hurt, then just, do what you have to do, but there are many situations where you could put out a fire just by putting water around you.
Could you, if the child is like old enough to carry water themselves, but is under bar bat mitzvah, could they put the fire out without
Okay, so it's a very good question. It's a discussion on its own. How does it work with children? Can you ask a child under bar mitzvah to do a transgression for your sake? Yeah, there are leniencies. Okay, it's really, we should discuss it in detail on class on its own. But there is such an idea that you could ask a child to do a rabbinic prohibition if it's extremely necessary, there's no non-Jew. And even then, there are conditions that it can't be in a permanent way, can't be temporary, so theoretically, there could be, if it's dangerous. Again, if it's dangerous, you want to put the fire right away, not necessarily you want to ask the child, you want to do it yourself, right? But yeah, theoretically speaking, if the choice is between you and a child, for sure, between you and a child, it's all a child is always better. So if the opposite between you and a child is always better. That's for sure. Now, in general, there are situations when, even situations where you're not allowed, there can be leniency to say, okay, ask the child to do it. There's such a concept. So for sure, when it's dangerous and you're ready to do it yourself, well, sure, you can have a child do it. Now the child putting on fire at a certain age, right? So, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have another sheet. We don't have enough time to get started. So, maybe we just discuss any questions about a fire. We need to know what it's like.
I have a question about
Yeah.
the diaper thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it like sort of like not work as well if you're opening and closing it? Before?
Correct. But still, I mean, I've done it for years and it worked.
Okay.
Like with all my children, and it worked.
Could you safety pin a diaper shut, even if it's like not a cloth diaper? Like if you do it in the way where it's only going through once?
Yeah, we
It's
said
like holding a
safety
garment
fence is okay.
Yeah.
Even more than one, there also seems to be, another seems to be saying that maybe there's need to be strict, but I have to look it up again, this yesterday looked at it. Once for sure is okay, more than once. But there is, it seems that it might be more strict. Yeah,
It also applies to like other things that are like sticky, right? Like Band-Aids and like.
correct, whatever applies to diapers applies to Band-Aids too. There was a time that I would remember before Shabbos, I would open up Band-Aids, open and close in case it needed. If ever needed on Shabbos and it wasn't open, I would ask the child to open it, because
Close the Band-Aid.
Like take the stick,
open and close,
take the,
Just the actual sticky part.
yeah,
Take
open,
this beyond.
actual Band-Aid. But then when I'm teaching, I hear that, oh, it's not sanitary once you open and close it. No, we can put it into a plastic bag, put it in a Ziploc bag. Again, it's a stringency, halachically, you're allowed, and if you need a Band-Aid, you open it. So what I always did, I would ask the child, because anything that's a stringency in general, you can ask a child to stop it.
Okay.
Because even according, because you're allowed to do it, you're just being strict. So it's between you and the child, I always didn't ask the child, not to do it himself. The other lookers regarding the fire, but they're not so practical. I mean, like the teaching about it, went into all these details. When you take out from the house, it's very interesting. I mean, it's interesting, not interesting in constitutional should happen. The law is interesting. What you could, okay, could you tell or not, when it's life and death, of course, you can do whatever you have to do, but if it's not life and death, for sure not life and death, right? It's just a monetary issue, the house is gonna go up in flames.
just,
Saying, right, I'm saying, let's say there's no issue, you live in a suburb, there's no houses attached to your house, it's pure monetary. You're not allowed to ask, you're not allowed to put out the fire yourself. And you're not allowed to ask the non-Jew directly to put out the fire.
you have to say, oh geez, look at that fire, what should we do?
Right, you could say, whoever puts out the fire won't lose out on getting paid, getting compensated, you could say that.
Oh,
And you're actually not allowed to take anything out of the house, only the food that you need for Shabbos. You're not allowed to save anything from the house. From the Sfarim, yes, but other than Sfarim,
Possible.
yeah, we have to go to the reading, anything that, not about a passport, but anything, yeah. Anything that's valid, you're not allowed to take anything out of the house other than food they need for Shabbos.
Just out of curiosity, when do you probably take floor off the fire or something? Like, is that why you're doing it? Because of like,
No connection, and this thing came up.
oh, I was like, what, fire, huh?
And then one time I was walking on Eastern Parkway and there were like a fire engines there and there was texting me, mocking me how to speak check. I said, Hadar Torah is on fire again.
What?
When was this?
It was like 3 years ago. It wasn't on Shabbos, but yeah, again.
We don't major fire, I know what it was, but I don't.
How many times have they caught fire?
Yeah.
You have like a rabbi who's in school and like he saw the fire and he couldn't even do anything and then like when they're clouds and went on, he showed up. They're fixed out there or something.
Is it the story?
Yeah, and like he literally was gonna have to like the toll roads were gonna like something like burn. And he was like, I don't know, I can't do it. But then like they stopped it. If the toll road's in jeopardy, are you allowed to stop it?
Oh, you wanna put out a fire?
Yeah.
No,
Right.
Are you
That was
allowed-
like the thing.
but then you could, but then you could tell a non-Jew directly to put out the fire.
Okay, so he did pretty good.
In such a case, you could tell them directly.
Yeah.
Where does calling the fire, where does calling the fire brigade come into? Is that the same thing as like asking one who
Right, so could you call,
you call and ask and like ask them, say there's a fire at this house, and you're not telling them to put it out, but if known, they will come over and do it.
actually, I have to double check again, for some reason, I don't remember if you're allowed to tell. I don't think
Or
you
can
can
you
tell,
ask someone
I don't think,
to
no, for
call?
sure you can tell an non-Jew to call.
Okay.
Questions, could a Jew call himself with machinery? In an unusual way, again, we're not talking about that, no, like monetary.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to call directly. Even with machine.
How can you
Have to
decide?
double check if you're allowed to call directly, not in a regular way. Who do you call directly? You have to check.
What is the definition of like it being a life and death situation and what it, or it might be easier to define what is not a life and death situation with a fire? Because my brain fire is very, very dangerous.
What? Why?
In my brain fire, it seems like a life and death situation
Oh,
automatically,
why?
because it's fire.
If you're in a house, there's no kids, you know exactly who's in the house. There's 3 adults and they're all there and they're all running out. And the house is not attached to other houses. There's no trees around it. If the fire burns, I mean, if the house burns, there's no life in there. So it's not like that.
If you have pets,
If it's a windy day,
That's life and death means for humans,
oh,
not for animals.
okay. Could you pick up your cat and bring them outside? Shabbos, if there's a fire?
Don't publish this one, Ross.
Right. Logically, you cannot pick up that animal on Shabbos. You're allowed to move it along. You can hold it, you can help it. You can help it.
Could you pick the, like, do like the scissor walk with like
Yeah.
a toddler?
Bailey, the cat, you can't take the cat with you.
Oh, that,
Yeah,
no, I never thought of it.
because I do that just for fun with my cat during the week.
I have to check.
Okay, I will follow up.
Yeah. I never did.
so. What we know with the wildfires in California and like they're spread by the wind, even if it's in
Right.
the suburb. If it's a windy day and it's a given that everything will catch fire,
That is a comment, that is the
Okay,
point,
got it.
right? If there's any chance, there's any doubt,
okay, got it,
but there can hypothetically be situations where it's very clear that it's not.
okay, got it.
Okay, Up there. everyone,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience also with my cat.
The more patience she has left.
Yeah.
This
is her being patient.
She's like, leave the cat to die.
Hey, I didn't say it.
Right.
No,
like,
you
you
have
need
to
to-
word my mouth, but.
To be honest.
There were lines, I didn't see them, that's all.
I would scoop my cat up without thinking.
Yeah.
What he was saying, most of it is hypothetical, because of both we got, you lose yourself.
Wait, just see the vodka is flammable, right?
Yeah,
That's like how Molotov vodka is.
yeah.
Why did I think they were for, why did I think they were for, well,